Hey guys, JH. Welcome back to the practice tee. Okay, want to do a little bit of... so windy here today, man. Whew, is it windy? Okay, what I want to do is give a little bit more of the inside, the intrinsic inside details of JH's new golf swing. Okay, so the main aspect of it for me is that we'll just let's go back to JH's normal swing. Wide stance, lack of mobility in the hips, and that facilitates and ends up creating a short golf swing. There's no question about that. Well, I had a long break, sort of 6 years off, not playing golf with some injuries, and when I came back, I'd lost a lot of the flexibility of my hip extensors, and I wasn't turning my shoulders because I wasn't turning my hips. So what I've done, guys, I've gone away from the wide stance with the trail leg foot in that position there, which is my normal position here. Now, and I've done this. I brought this foot up and I flared it out. Now, why did you flare it out, JH? Well, two things. When I was looking for more shoulder turn, I wanted to get more shoulder turn. And I felt that with my standard one, there was always this drag and restriction and constriction in here. I thought, it feels awful. And just by bringing up this foot up to here, it narrowed the stance, which gave me more mobility in my upper legs here, my knees, and just by doing that, I could increase the range of turn just by doing that. But I still felt a restriction in here, and so I thought, well, and I'm a biomechanical guy. I mean, that's my background. I thought, well, why is this happening? Free up that trail axis. Now, how do we do that, JH? Well, we just need that right leg for me to turn clockwise on the backswing. Now, how do I do that easier? Well, I just turn that right foot out, or that trail foot out, and that makes it easier to turn this right leg. That's very easy to turn that. Now, as soon as that happens, if I go here, narrow a stance, turn that out, watch how much my hip turns. And look where the club goes, as opposed to here, and my shoulder there. So the major thought is, on this trail leg here, is I want to turn it clockwise on the backswing. I don't care if it straightens. It was okay for Snead and most of those players of the 40s, 50s and 60s. They all had tremendous mobility because that right leg, or that trail leg, basically straightened. And they got huge hip turns. Snead had a huge hip turn. That's why he lifted his left leg, because it pulled it off the ground. So I've narrowed the stance, I've flared that foot out, and I consciously turn my trail leg clockwise on the backswing. I actually turn it like that. I actually turn it. So guys, that's the basic guts, if you will, of the new process. Turning that right foot out, and not only that, when I turn it out, I actually pull it back. So I'm in this sort of position here where I'm already into the turn. I feel like that this trail side is actually into the turn because I've gone to here. And you'll see me over the golf ball. You will see me over the golf ball now, and I look like I'm loaded left. I'm not loaded left. All I've done is the normal setup for JH back here. Now, as soon as this foot goes back here, this weight moves, this mass moves here, and I end up here. Now, as soon as I bring that foot up, it just brings this mass up. Just repositions it. That's all it is. I'm not loading left. I'm just, by narrowing the stance, I've just brought it more this way. And what you will notice is that I take a lot more time over the ball than I used to. You know, the old JH golf swing was, you know, here and go. Well, I certainly don't do that now with the new swing, because the new swing requires thought. It just requires thought. And the thought is, for me, it's a sequence. It's a countdown sequence. And so I'll get over the ball, and guys, I go through my thought sequence, which I'll talk about in another video, because it's quite in-depth and quite complex. But it's a sequence of 1 to 5. Now, if I don't count that sequence down, the swing doesn't start. A bit like those things they have in cars around the world now, that if you've had a few drinks and you get in the car and it's connected to your ignition and you blow in it, and if you blow over the limit, the car doesn't start. Well, my golf swing won't start unless I count down the sequence. If the sequence isn't completed, my golf swing won't start. So it's fantastic, but I'll talk about that in another tape. But you will see that I actually take a lot more time over the ball because I'm counting down the sequence. And the other thing is, guys, that I basically just try and get my left shoulder over my right knee. That's all I want to do. I just want to feel that. Now, I don't get that in the golf swing because I'm not used to it yet, but that's my thought. And I'm getting more power, and how am I getting it? Because I'm getting more rotation, so I'm getting more club head travel. Simple as that. Club is travelling further, it's generating more speed. Now guys, that's just a perfect golf shot. There's a tree out here, and I aim just straight at the tree, and it's just almost split it in half. There's a howling left to right wind here. So guys, that's all I'm trying to do. Trying to get here, push the left shoulder across to there, auger that right leg this way, and on the downswing, which I shouldn't go into now, but I actually try and keep that orientation, thought orientation of the right leg turning clockwise on the downswing. And what that does, if I do that, if I keep that turning, as I come in, my heel will go this way through impact. I won't get external rotation. I get internal rotation, which keeps my hips closed, my torso closed, shoulders closed, which is what I want to do, because I always want to be closed at impact. Okay guys, that's a little bit more insight into JH's new swing. There's a bit of a storm coming in here, and I just want to get out of here. So I'll do a little bit more maybe tomorrow, and I'll give you a little bit more of the real intrinsic stuff about this swing. It's made a huge difference to me. I basically have not missed a shot since I took it up a week ago. It's just fantastic, and the distance I'm getting is off the scale. Okay guys, that's a little bit of the in-depth info on JH's new swing.